There we go. Sweet.
We
We're up. We're recording. So welcome viewers, friends, family to Skyway Bound Presents. And today we're going to interview Dave Yocum and his friend Steve. Steve, what's your last name?
Hodges.
Hodges. Steve Hodges. They are at the Florida Future Factory. Dave is the founder of this factory, and personally, I remember when this was kind of at the beginning. I mean, I've been with you for probably over a year, and it's been very exciting to watch things come along, and you're gaining some serious momentum. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, and definitely want to get Steve involved in there too. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then kind of what you guys are working on right now.
Okay, well, I was just blessed with an opportunity to get in aviation back in about 2000, to where I worked at a flight school, and then I got distracted and found race cars. So I ended up in this whole motorsports aviation realm, to where I wake up in the morning, I'm working on race cars, and before I'm going to bed, I'm working on airplanes, So it was like an all-day thing, but it really drove not only that experience, but it kind of drove the passion because of the kind of the unique situations you end up in, and some of the family-oriented atmospheres you get into, especially in the motorsports arena. You end up a part of the family because you're going to the racetrack every weekend, and you're meeting your buddies that work for other teams, and there's that competitive spirit, but yet you're all in it together because you're passionate about it. And I had a great friend some time ago tell me, because I was kind of redoing my bio for my LinkedIn account, he said, I have a great saying for you. And his name's Julius Barrett, great inspiration over the years. He said, through the way of experience, or through the way of education, you're not guaranteed experience, but yet through experience, you're guaranteed an education. And it made so much sense to me in what I do and what I've done in my lifetime, that I've kind of, held on to that. And with the Florida...
Why didn't you ever tell me that?
Well, you're here now. So,
dang, I'm just now finding this out.
Yeah. So through and in 2018, beginning in 2018, I was the director of operations for the Recurrent Training Center for Aeronautical Systems Engineering. And in that kind of industry, military contracting was just a very, creativity isn't necessarily welcome. And I had so many ideas. I needed to find ways of sharing that with others. And I got kind of sad by talking to people that never experienced just a glimpse of what I've had to offer. And I love telling stories, and I like sharing everything I've learned and created over the years with anybody that's willing to take the time to check it out and enjoy from that experience. So I came up with this crazy concept called the Florida Fantasy Factory, or F3 Creative Labs. Well, now we're looking at coming up on 2020. I'm going to be basically changing the name to the Florida Future Factory, because it's no longer a fantasy. And we're going to be able to help kids and adults of all ages to learn about all kinds of cool technology, anything from 3D printing technology to virtual reality and simulated environments, which you'll see our P-51 Mustang sitting back there in the background with, I don't know if he's blurred out, but one of our friends that helps with some of our space ventures, and just, he's a great guy. And, so we're just here to not only have fun, but to spread the word of education and technology, and attitude is everything, because you never know where you'll end up if you have the right conversation with the right people.
Absolutely. So, and tell us, Steve, a little bit of how you got involved with the Future Factory.
Well, I knew the gentleman that owns the Ultimate 3D printing place, Roy Kirchner. And I talked to Roy. I went to an event, in Orlando once, and had a really good time. So he had an event here, and it was a boat show, wasn't it?
Yeah, the boat show.
Yeah, so it was the boat show. And so I was experimenting at the time with virtual reality, and filming in virtual reality. So I just showed up. Roy asked me if I'd come up there, and I just showed up with my camera, and David happened to be there. He was actually at the booth for 3D printing, Ultimate 3D printing. And so I just, I did an interview in virtual reality, and, so, and that's how I met him. And then, he goes, "Oh man, you got to come, here's my card." He gave me his card for here and for the Ultimate 3D printing. So anyways, time just went away. It just didn't, I just didn't do anything. And then I saw him again at the, that was the PlayCon.
Largo PlayCon.
Yeah, PlayCon. I went up there again with my camera, and just thought I would, it's how I get in free to all these events. So I just tell them, I'd say, "Hey, look, I'm a social media photographer and videographer, and I film and take photos in virtual reality." And I said, "I need a wristband." And they just give me a wristband. So, so David was there, and he goes, "Oh, man, you got to come, really," because he had some of his machines and stuff out there at the deal. And he had a really nice setup. And I thought, I've been wanting to do it anyways. I'm just going to do it. So I don't know. It was a couple months later, I hollered at him, and he happened to be around. So I came over here, and I saw what was going on. I just was going, "Oh my God!"
And he never left.
Yeah.
But thank him, because he's been very instrumental in helping.
So, anyways, it was just like he had the same kind of thought. It's like I feel like I'm a little bit older than David, and I want to be able to give back to the community. And so when he started telling me, his whole philosophy and everything, it just jived with mine. And so I thought, this is a great place where people can come and get an education about things that maybe they might not have the opportunity, maybe even, change their career path or give them a career path. And I just thought that just jived with, where I was at in life at the time. So, so from there on, I just try to do whatever I can to help. I don't know exactly, what I've done to help. Sometimes it's being the guy that just is here, to open the door, when some people come through. We've been really fortunate. I don't know how, but the movie industry has kind of taken a liking to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Who knew? So, and that was like, so here I am thinking that I'm giving of myself and all this other, but I found out I'm just taking, because these people come in doing this stuff I've never even, thought about. And so now I'm learning, which I love to learn.
Yeah. That's such a great example. So, I'm still taking some business classes at the local junior college for the fun of it. But I've been talking to some of the professors. It's so amazing to watch you go through this entrepreneurial process, and you accidentally literally found a customer on accident, which is something we've been talking about for the past over a year. And it's been awesome. It's just such a classic business example of, providing something and finding, customer discovery. And it's working right now. That's been very exciting to watch you do. So
you were here. You were here when they crashed our party.
Too funny.
They somehow, the movie production company, I guess what happened is they lost their filming venue. And then out of a whim, they just wanted to come by this place and see it and see if they could talk to us. And we happened to be having that little private party for the, for the local businesses to get together and tell a little bit, just so everybody could share what everybody's doing. And they come up to me and they're like, "Hey, we want to film a movie tomorrow." And I was like, "Let's do it. Let's make it happen." And then ever since that point, they've just blessed us with a lot of neat opportunities, and people.
Nice.
Steve's been here to help us tremendously with that and orchestrate. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that, and it's been an amazing learning curve. I never thought I'd have the opportunity to be on the back end of a movie production company to where I'm kind of starting to understand how they, and you know, over the years, I've just learned a lot. And hey, Walter, not for nothing, you and I met at the Ultimate 3D Printing event, at the podcasting event that we did, like a.
No, that was an artificial intelligence.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of it was podcast related, and you know, and it was an interesting day.
No, absolutely. So one thing I love about your story is that you've experienced a lot of challenges along the way. Could you share with us some of the highlight challenges as you over the past couple of years as you've looked to kind of build out this future factory and get it going and get it to where it's actually you're now starting to monetize, which is very exciting.
Yeah. I think the biggest challenge, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this lately in social media, but you can't expect yourself from others. So I found people that I thought were going to be strategic partners and really benefit kind of the whole plan, but yet it didn't work out that way, you know, and that's been an extreme challenge to try to find the right people to work with that understand where we are at this present time and where we want to be, but yet, you know, it's that's the number one challenge, I can tell you. And then just being, you know, having a job and having responsibilities, and then all the other, you know, I can't say unfortunately, but like in my current situation, I don't really have a family or anything like that, like to take care of, to where it's enabled me to have time to invest in this company and building my business. But yet at the same time, it comes with a loss in a way, because if you have that strategic partner or family that could help in the situation, I mean, that could be right. So it's a unique situation in the sense that, you know, there's a lot of nights that I just wonder how the next day is going to progress. And then scheduling and organizing your time and having somebody that can help you. Like, I get so many phone calls a day now, and so many people that, how do you vet out who's serious and who's not? And then you dedicate so much time to this one person that you're really excited to work with. And then at the end of the meeting or at the end of that, like it's like the setbacks that you have from that, or you bring somebody on your team that you think's going to help, but then they don't have the experience level or the mental capacity to understand where you want to be. And then it sets you in reverse, you know, right. Days or sometimes weeks. I mean, or it just completely ruins the play. I mean, a lot can happen.
Yeah, you know, you're absolutely right. And sometimes in that case, you're in the thick of the moment. You don't have time. You don't have the time you wish you had, right, to help them learn, even if you really like them. And so right. it's really tough. Well, with that said, what advice do you have for people who are interested in the world of entrepreneurship?
Oh, I have
it. Go ahead, Steve.
Just do it. You got to put one foot in front of the other. And here's the thing. It's going to be uncomfortable, and you are going to get done with that first step, and you're going to go, oh, that was terrible.
Right.
I couldn't have done worse.
Yeah.
But that's where you learn. That is where you learn. You know, I respect you for what you're doing right now, because at some point you had to say, this is what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to take my step forward. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Is, you know, without that step forward, you don't find out the little pitfalls and the things about yourself, really, you know, that you thought you could or could not do, and taking those steps, and then you just don't quit. You know, you just go.
Yeah. I tell you, like very early on in this mission, when I gave up my job, okay, I'm talking a decent salary, consistent. They weren't I wasn't going anywhere, right? And I quit. I quit a dream job, being, a simulator maintenance technician, traveling the world, helping like people all over the place. But I had a secure, stable training center that I was managing. I was straight. I could have retired there. And one day I was like, I made the decision that I was going to quit that place. And they even were like, you're going to do what? And I went through with it. And there were days that I sat on the floor of in my house, just kind of looking around, just like crying, wondering how I was going to survive. Like, what if I could lose everything because I vested my whole everything into this idea? But it just, I don't know. I don't exactly know who to thank but myself for continuing. And I don't know if you hear the
artificial intelligence
and the motivational music that just cued for no reason in the background that we had, like, it's on a separate computer. Like, it was him. He did it. But,
I love your energy. I always have. I think that's why we connected.
We're really into AI.
Maybe. Oh, and the raid on Area 51. I mean, you think that was on the 20th by accident? That's my birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday. Good thing you didn't go. You might have got shot by the government.
Oh, that's why we're going to secretly, have a little, we can't talk about that.
He's almost 100 years old.
No.
Yeah.
Well, when everybody asks, I'll throw this out there. Everybody says, oh, where are you from? And I tell them, oh, my ship crashed in Pennsylvania 38 years ago.
Well, this is great. I love the interaction. So one thing that we haven't really related to the audience is, and you kind of downplayed a little bit, but you and your dad, you guys owned a fixed-based operator at a small airport. You owned a flight school that had 3 locations, had a stellar reputation for sending pilots to the regional airlines.
Right.
Your dad's a retired airline pilot, if I'm correct, right?
Well, he before he stopped flying, he ended up the vice president of U.S. Air Express. Then he moved on to run Merlin Express in Texas. He ran an airline in Hawaii as the president, Mahalo Air. Yeah. I mean, he had tremendous, achievements in his lifetime. And when he offered me the opportunity to work for him, I didn't want that owner's son mentality, because I'm a very emotional person, like, period. And I always worry about what everybody else considers of me. And, I'm very conscious of that. And I read on other people's feelings, and I never wanted to be that, oh, that's the owner's son, he just gets away with anything. I wanted to be the guy that set the new standard for, if you are given that kind of opportunity, you need to put your best foot forward. And he really taught me how to have the right attitude. And in that sense of having the opportunity of learning little aspects about, I learned how to build a maintenance facility to work on aircraft. I learned how to do fueling and run the FBO, which then I got ownership of the FBO and brought a failing business to a positive business, because I addressed the highlights of what the opportunity was of being the gateway to the community of an airport. You got all these people flying in. That needs to be the golden gates that people are coming in. What better way to reach the world through that kind of, so I worked with museums, and then I worked with the motorsports group to just learn from everything, and kind of, you don't take it all, because sometimes you learn very negative things, and there is, you can absorb that depending on the type of person you are. You can absorb different tendencies and different habits. And you really have to be careful with that, because almost like PTSD, it takes time to almost dissolve the negative aspects that could influence your way in a negative way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that was great. I wanted the viewers to see that we really only scratched the surface.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to hire my dad now. So I've already sent him a paycheck to say, get down here, Dad. We need you. because
Nice.
of his experience level, and he's a grant writer and a curriculum development guy, and just his experience, his knowledge. And he never went to college.
Yeah.
But his achievements could inspire others, you know.
Absolutely.
Like they inspired me.
Well, hold that thought, because we're running out of time, but we definitely, so the goal of this program is to come back and do updates with you from time to time to see how things are progressing. So we're really excited about things that are happening. Real quickly, just if you could, how can people contact the Florida Future Factory?
F3CL.com. You can find us on Google because of this guy. I mean, he just put it out there.
Steve.
Yeah, if you look up the Florida Future Factory on Google Maps, you're going to see some of this guy's incredible work with his 3 camera and the virtual reality stuff. Facebook,
Cool.
The Florida Future Factory is on Facebook. David Yocum, we're on there.
Cool.
I don't have a card laying around.
That's all right. We will also put links to those various places on my website and YouTube, et cetera. But stay tight. I'm going to close us out here real quick. So for our viewers, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you know of a startup with a social entrepreneurial focus, please connect us, because we want to share their story with the community. We'd also like to hear your thoughts and concerns and feedback about our show or any episode. So you can contact us at social, SOCIAL, at Skyway Bound, or you can connect with us on Facebook at Skyway Bound Presents. Here it comes, my script. This program,
hit the bell.
Ding ding. And so in the future, yes, we do have a sponsor. They're not ready to sponsor us yet, but they're very close, and it's going to be Mind My PC, where they're going to provide 24/7 managed services support for all your IT resources on a budget. And other than that, thanks for listening, and until next time, please do not stop pursuing your dreams, because as we already discussed in this program, the road is hard. It is very long, but we encourage you, do not quit, do not quit, do not quit. Why? Because the sky's the limit, and I believe in you. You can do it. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.